All right, sorry about the weird lighting here. I could not wait till sunrise to report on this, and I don't have a lot of lighting in my van down by the river. So here's what I have learned about Steve Paddock, the man responsible for this mass shooting at Mandalay in Las Vegas at the Jason Aldean concert. So first of all, he was 62 years old. He was a white male. He lived in an over 55 community, a gated community. I looked on the Google Earth, and it looked like they were pretty nice homes. So it was an upper middle class guy. He had no criminal record, just a traffic ticket. He was not a United States veteran. We know that. He worked as an accountant. He was a pencil pusher, a numbers guy. He could not have been a white supremacist because white supremacists do not have brown girlfriends. And so his girlfriend was brown. She was Hispanic, or she was Native, or she was Asian, or some mix. But she was definitely a person of color. So if they try to say he was a white supremacist and he had some connection to white supremacy, it's a lie, because white supremacists do not date outside their race. Number one rule of white supremacy, I think. So this was a fully automatic Class 3 weapon. So as a gun guy and as a musician and audio engineer, I can tell you from the sound of it. Now, a lot of people are thinking that there were two shooters. I do not believe there were two shooters looking at the footage, because what you are hearing, it sounds like a second shooter, is actually what we call bounce back in the audio world. So the first sound, the crack sound, is the sound of the gunfire. The second sound is the sound of the sound, is the sound bouncing off surrounding buildings back to the microphone on the whatever camera was being used. So it's a single shooter. This was a fully automatic Class 3 weapon. This was not an AK-47, I do not believe. AK-47s have a slower cyclic rate. They sound like clack, 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 clack. This was more than likely an AR or some other kind of Class 3 weapon with a higher cyclic rate, because it was almost, it was, and there's a characteristic sound of an AK. So I do not believe it was an AK, but he was using 50 round drum magazines. I counted the shots. There were 50 shots. Then there was a reload. Apparently he was changing shooting positions. So he had knocked out 2 windows in the 32nd floor of the adjacent hotel. He would fire 50 rounds from a rifle, either switch rifles to another rifle with 50 round, but probably more than likely he would just pop another 50 round magazine rather, into the weapon in question, move to the second shooting position and empty that magazine, and he went back and forth for more than 10 minutes. The death count is at this point 50 plus 400 wounded, but honestly I think it's going to be much higher than that. And so I'll move on to more things that I know. No, that's it. That's the 10 things I know. So here's some more conjecture, or just a lesson for you. One of the things I immediately picked up on is that people would hit the deck, which is the right thing to do when someone's shooting. But then when he stopped to reload, there was a longer time between shooting than the actual shooting took place. So he would shoot the 50 rounds, change positions, and reload. People were still staying down. Listen, if you ever find yourself in this situation and you hear those string of shots go and then there's a pause, the son of a bitch is reloading. Get up then and run for cover. When the shooting starts again, hit the deck. This is just basic warfare stuff here. You move while the guy's reloading. And, you know, if you can't find cover, it's almost better to run if you have open space, because a moving target will draw fire, but a moving target is much harder to hit, especially at these ranges. So move, shoot, live. That's the motto. All right, guys, I'm going to get back to you if we find any more about this son of a bitch. But I'm telling you right now, I think he was a lefty. His job, his demeanor, his targets. I mean, he targeted rednecks. Okay, I'm a country musician. So let me tell you right away, Jason Aldean is the redneckiest of the redneckiest. If there was a black person in that whole crowd, I'd be shocked. If there wasn't many. Because this was a white person's event, listening to white music from a very white dude. So if they try to make him out as to be some kind of white supremacist, it's the worst lie imaginable. You know, what white supremacist attacks rednecks and has a brown girlfriend? So this guy's a lefty. He's like the guy that shot Senator Congressman Calise. at the baseball game. This is a guy who's been listening to CNN. I could be wrong on this, but I'm betting that this is part of this whole political thing. And the second round of mass shootings, so coming from the left against people on the right, there's no doubt that the people on the right were targets. Those guys were flag-waving Americans that were at that concert. That's just the kind of crowd Jason Aldean draws. So these are the things I know about the situation and the shooter. Guys, I wouldn't go to a concert. I said to myself, I picked a great time to retire from the music business. I saw Jason Aldean up there. Jake Owen was on stage when this happened. He was opening for Aldean. It was he was coming up to sing with him, and I've heard Owen respond on this. And I got to tell you, yeah, I picked a good time to get out. I would not have wanted to be up there. And one more thing, the sound guy, the lighting guy, who threw on the crowd lights when the shooting happened, yeah, you aided and abetted that shooting. Had you killed those lights, there would have been less victims. Now, the people would have had less light to escape, but honestly, there was enough light there to have plenty of room to escape. And by turning on those lights, I'm condemning you, buddy. You screwed up. It's not your job to be a tactician. You were trying to help people go out, get out. Maybe that was your job, to turn the lights up when people, so they could leave and have plenty of light to see to leave. But you illuminated the shooting area. So this is part of these deaths are on you, buddy.